You can add color, texture, and interest to your yard by planting ground cover in those bare areas under trees and near your home. And here to tell us how we can do it is Gardener Ed Sourdiffe. Ed, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, Seth.
So all these plants are ground plants. Tell us what ground plants really are, though.
Well, ground cover plants is any plant that you can use, like instead of a lawn, to cover bare and ground. You can use it just for aesthetic purposes, just so it looks nice, or you can use it for erosion control, and that's what these things are.
What's the maintenance like on something like this?
It's not really bad. The initial work you have to put in is basically if you're going to do an area, say under some trees, that you want to use some ground covers like this, you really have to get in there, get all the weeds out, all the grasses, all that kind of stuff. Make sure if you have any perennial weeds, you either you can solarize that. If you have enough sun, where you place the plastic over the soil, leave that for a few weeks in the hot summer months, and it will actually kill all the extra weed seeds in the plants. And then you can actually come in and put this in. And once they're in, just weed them a little bit and let them spread out, and then they will actually suppress the other weeds by not allowing light to the soil. So it's a good thing. And they're for different purposes too.
And yeah, exactly. Some need more light than others. So let's go down the line and show people what kind of plants these are and what they need to know about them.
Okay, well, if we're going to start over here, we can talk about this, which is ivy. Ivy is a great thing for your garden if you're going to have a semi-shady environment. It will make a complete carpet. It's a great thing. It looks really nice. The one back here, I was actually going to use it as a cautionary tale. This is actually, if you look at it, you can see it's actually a very pretty plant. It has this variegated leaves. It has a little bit of flowers here. This is called bishop's weed. This used to be very popular. It's not popular anymore because it's an invasive weed. This will take over gardens. It takes you forever to get rid of it. So if a friend offers you bishop's weed, something that looks like this, say no, you do not want this. It will even displace natural plants out there. So that's the only thing we have here that's a cautionary tale. Crown vetch is another one, but you want to definitely stay away from that. Now, if you're going to go into a shady environment, partial shade, you're under trees, nothing else will grow. Pachysandra is a great thing. Right here is your regular Pachysandra. Has little nondescript white flowers that come out here. It has this great evergreen foliage that lasts all winter long. It will get about this tall under a tree, including the pot will be about that tall. Leaves will just filter through it and add to the compost, so it does well with that. Then these two up here are different versions of Pachysandra. This is called sheen. You can actually see the difference between the leaves, how shiny this one is.
Very shiny, yeah.
It's almost like somebody waxed it or something.
I was going to say, did you spray a little on beforehand?
I was up all night. And then over here we have a variegated Pachysandra. Not quite as robust, but it does do well. I have a really big patch of this, so you can see there's a little color associated with that too. So these all Pachysandras do good in shade, semi-shade.
And what's this?
This is actually ice plant. It's a yellow ice plant. This actually is it's
almost like a moss too. It's like a hybrid.
It's a succulent, and you can tell succulents because they have a fat leaf that will store water. This is a perfect thing here for dry areas. Say you have a border along your driveway. The lawn's always dying back there. You could add a strip of this. It'll get little yellow daisy-like flowers all year. It stays really low to the ground, about 1 inch to 2 inches. Very hardy, very nice plant. You can see actually this one is so hardy that there's nothing here.
The second layer of it?
No, it's just one little thing. I just actually pulled this off a stone this morning. It was actually, I have a big boulder at home, and this was growing on the boulder. So it really is very hardy.
And they're easy to split too, I would think, because they just keep growing and growing.
Yeah, and you could just take this, split it. As long as you put whatever root you find, or even the stems, and press them onto the soil, they will actually take there. And remember, these love full sun. So if you have a hot, dry area, these are perfect for that. Another shady plant would be the myrtle here. Myrtle, it makes a great evergreen cover. It will spread, make sure nothing else will grow there. It also has beautiful little blue flowers.
That's nice, because a lawn can only give you so much too.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the little flowers to mix it up.
And it is a lot of work like we've discussed before. And then you have a juga here. Everything's a little bit kind of mishmash because I did just transplant them. This usually stands up really nicely. Comes in green or like this burgundy color. Has purple or white flower spikes. Very nice plant. That's also part shade to full sun.
And now, lastly, these don't seem as much like ground cover plants because they're growing higher and thicker.
Yeah, but if you actually, this is a hosta in the back. You get the flowers from it. This you can actually plant in groups of hostas. They will become big mounds, and they will actually they will knit together basically. So you'll have a huge area of just hostas, and this will actually keep the weeds down. Now, this is actually a very interesting plant. This is one of my favorites. This is called lungwort or plumeria, and the reason they call it that is if you look at the leaves here, in the old days, medieval times, they thought that you could actually use herbal cures by what the plant looked like. Lungwort, because this looks like a lung, and then you can see the little spots on it, so they thought this would cure diseases of the lungs. And this one actually will get nice big groups, and they'll grow together, make a mat. But this one actually, very rare in the plant world, will produce both pink and blue flowers on the plant.
On the same plant?
Yeah, on the same plant, and it just looks really fantastic with that pink and blue. So it's really very nice.
Well, these are great alternatives to grass. Thank you so much for sharing them with us today. And if you want more information or to see any of Ed's segments, you can always log on to mymassappeal.com later today.